Let me introduce myself very quickly. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shinji, and I'm delighted to be here today to speak with you about the importance of the claims experience. I've been in this industry for nearly 30 years. It's like a dinosaur. But as you can see from my resume, I'm not a real claims person. However, I have gained valuable insight of claims process through my consulting time. I have a very privilege and opportunity to work with the big corporate and digital native startup in over 30 countries. This has given me a very unique perspective and opportunity to see this what is happening in industry. Today, I'd like to really share some of these insights with you. So let me start with my presentation. I would really like to use the driving analogy to represent the claims process of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So let's start with the yesterday. When we think about the industry in the past, it is easy to imagine driving a car while only looking at the rearview mirror. Sounds and feel familiar? This reactive approach means that we were often playing catch-up, responding to claims as they came, right? I also would like to use the claims end-to-end process across all of my presentation today. So where should we start? Traditionally, the claims process starts when our customer notify their claims, right? And when we might assume that the process ends when the claims is paid out, right? We think, and it's certainly our customers think, that this should be a relatively straightforward process. But according to the J.D. Power, in the US, they did a claims satisfaction survey, and the results say it takes around 30 to 45 days. It's quite stunning. Do you think it's around 30 days? So let's be realistic, right? So you obviously know how complex this claims process can be. And some of them processes are really very painful. Even starting from the policy identification, sometimes even this first step can be extremely challenging. This is really the kind of a team effort that we are having. So we are talking about the claims process, but it's not only the claims team is involving in this process, but the legal team, in some clients, they have the fraud detection team, and obviously accounting, right? So these processes are actually very complex and could be very lengthy. So, however, these 30 days sound, I think everybody, it is quite long. And in this yesterday section, I would really like to talk about a kind of industry challenge that we have. And I came up with 3 things. The first thing is a legacy system. So our industry, unfortunately, the most of our industry is still using quite outdated system. And the bad things about the outdated system is not the system is old, but it is very difficult to integrate new technology and creating also interface. So that's the one. And the second, this is also very difficult, and I believe you are also very familiar when we are talking about functional silo. So our industry tends to do work in a silo. So underwriting work in underwriting, accounting, claims, risk management, we have a tendency to work in a completely silo, which also creates the complexity within the organization. And then this also delays the process. And the third one, which may not be always clear, but our business model in itself. So when we're talking about the business model, we are basically talking about the indemnity basis. So we are here to cover the claims. And obviously this is the reason why we are here to pay the claims. So we are focusing on the risks and risk management and so on and so forth. So these are the what I call the three main our industry challenge. This is obviously not just for the motor insurance, but in general. So we wanted to talk about a bit of today. So unlike driving with our only rear view mirror, the claim process is now more like driving with a navigation system that help us reach out to destination more efficiently with the help of technology and data analytics. Insurer can now assess and process claim with greater accuracy and speed. So that's what navigation usually does, right? Yes, it is absolutely no doubt that the speed really matters. Mainly, I can observe three things are happening. And those are instant payment, the claims process automation, and the fraud detection. According to the Accenture, the 70% of consumers today expect instant payment for their insurance claims. And the McKinsey study, recent study, shows that the automation of the claims process can reduce roughly 30% of the claims handling cost. And with the insurtech startup raising over nearly $2 billion in funding in 2020, and most of this portion are used for the advanced fraud detection. $2 billion. I would like to just put this $2 billion into the perspective. So there was a FBI study that in the US, the insurance fraud costs staggering over $40 billion each year. The motor part is a significant part of this. In Europe, they are anticipating around 9 billion fraudulent claims every year. And the motor insurance is the majority part of it. So there's really no wonder that fraud detection is the area that some of the startups are really investing, and we as a whole are also investing. So these are the efforts that are already happening. And what I'm observing, there are two key main success factors. The first one, probably it is obvious to everyone, is the data. Having the quality data is extremely crucial for the successful transformation, especially those powered by AI and machine learning. Often legacy system and functional silo have made it extremely difficult to obtain accurate data. However, it is essential to start collecting relevant data systematically. The second is reviewing the process. So I'm raising 3 points. The smart triage is extremely crucial to the pay the claims instantly, especially for the simple, not so complex, but also low risk. So low risk also include low risk for the potential fraud, right? So making process as simple as possible is also essential. And the smart triage should be happen at every step. It's not just instant payment, but the policy identification, whether you should go for the recovery or not. I mean, every step you can think of such a smart triage. And the last button, by no means the least, is the define and set meaningful KPIs. And having a KPI is never the goal, but to measure regularly and track process effectively. One of the most important KPI is a customer satisfaction, right? So this is also the reason why we are talking about customer experience. So after all, this is the reason why we are doing all of those efforts. However, do we really, can we truly prioritize the customer satisfaction in the center of what we do? Often consulting company would emphasize the importance of a measure of customer satisfaction. And you might respond that, yes, we are measuring it. We have a customer satisfaction survey, and probably you see everywhere. But let's be honest, how often do we actually take the time to respond to such surveys? The information present so far highlights the importance and the necessity of these efforts: instant payment, claims process automation, and fraud detection. However, it is really important to question the motive behind these efforts. Are they solely aimed at increasing customer experience? Or are they meant to increase productivity and make our lives easier? It is really crucial to note that if the latter is the case, of course, we still need to do these things, but we cannot automatically expect that we can increase the customer satisfaction. Therefore, it is really essential to understand the real purpose behind these efforts and ensure that they align with our overall goal. So next up, I got to say, I've been working nearly 10 years for the consulting. I love 2x2. Do you? And while we cannot exactly measure happy versus unhappy customer, we do have a great proxy. That is whether they stick around or not. I mean, isn't that really what we are trying to improve anyway, right? So our goal should be to increase the lifetime value of our customers, not just make them happy for the sake of it. So are you ready? So one of the most obvious one is probably that we pay and they leave. And this is a real bad sign. So this type of customer may be a maximizer. They are just hoping one insurance company after others. They may even try to make some fraudulent claims. So these are the customers you need to watch. The next one may be an easy one. So you didn't pay, but the customer stay. Do you think this is a high five moment? But please don't, right? So these are usually the customer who is probably very optimistic and they love you, so they stay. But those customers are also extremely important to take care. Then the third one is we pay, they stay. That is exactly what we are doing, right? So these are the great opportunity to show these customers why we are here and what we do. Right? So like Barney Stinson, the challenge accepted moment. Yes. Then finally, we have the situation of we didn't pay, and obviously client also didn't stay. Client can be extremely angry. So we also need to manage those moments. Try to explain why things have to happen in the way that we need it happen, right? So we came now a long way. Do you realize this for the first time, actually, we are looking a lot, and the technology can also navigate us through real time, and the real time become also extremely important. The real time monitoring is not only important for us, but it's also very crucial for our customers. Think about the most distressing moment for them. Isn't it when an accident happens? With the help of sensor and real-time monitoring, we can actually now detect such a moment and immediately can provide some support, or at least ask the kind of support they are looking for. Another important thing is we are talking about the instant claims payment, where we pay because we think that that's what they need. But is it really? So we really need to understand the customer's need. And instead of making less contact, but use this as an opportunity to create meaningful touch point. Yes, I also mentioned that 74% of the people actually wanted to have immediate cash. It is true. But imagine the situation that that person is actually on his way to the airport or going to the very important meeting. Do you think the paying money instantly solve their actual problem? So this is the reason why to create a meaningful touch point is so important. And yes, we are introducing lots of chatbot type of things, but we also need to have a human support, and the human support can even be more important in such a distressing moment. So now imagine that our starting point can also change. And this also may mean that the potential business model change. If we can shift from purely indemnity-based protection to a true sense of mobility protection, some companies, particularly OEMs, are very keen on the idea of preventing accidents. Imagine if OEMs know how to make a safer car, but we know why and how accidents happen. For example, we can give driver an alert when they are approaching very dangerous intersection, because historically we know some intersection has a tendency to have a lots of accident, right? So I have unique opportunity to talk with a behavioral scientist once, who told me that one of the most effective warning can be to use their own children or the person who are very close to this person's voice. So this will make much more effective the warning than simple beep to say. So we can create so many ways to build a very meaningful connection with our customer. This could be a unique opportunity to transform our industry from very low touch business to the high but also meaningful connection. I know some companies have already started implementing those strategies, and I strongly believe that this is the best way to drive customer engagement by providing exceptional customer experience that go beyond just plain claims. We can protect our customers' mobility and create a meaningful connection with them. These are the type of the connection will lead to stronger customer engagement and loyalty. So this is all what I would like to talk about today for this short webinar. Thank you for attending this webinar. I hope you found it informative and useful.